10 greatest inventions of all time. Humans have evolved and adapted from ape or whatever that you believe into what we are today. Our ingenious species have been on this planet for quite an amount of time now. And during this period, we have dreamt, thought, and built what we are standing on today. Even though we are still far behind from that of our imaginations, right from the first clapping of a stone to spark ignite a fire, to a wheel of transportation to the internet. We have a considerable number of inventions that are just great of all time. So without further ado, let's have a look at the list of what we have compiled for you. Welcome to Limitless. We bring you some of the most mind-blowing videos on various topics, from science to entertainment. If it is interesting, we've got it covered. Number 1. The wheel. If it wasn't for the wheel, where would we have been? Would it have been possible to know the world we know now? Well, yes, it would be possible, but only at a very much slower rate. The invention of the wheel sped to our lives and took us rolling forward. It was invented not before 3500 BC, when the humans felt the need for it. They worked on it and the hard work paid off. It eased transportation for people traveling great distances and also facilitated agriculture and commerce by simplification of the transportation of the goods. Now, wheels are a very important part of our lifestyle, right from clocks to vehicles to turbines. Number 2. The printing press. Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press around 1440. Inventors from China and Korea had developed movable type made from metal, a new technique that enabled the rapid creation of large quantities of metal movable type. Johannes Gutenberg was the first to create a mechanized process that transferred the ink, which was made of linseed oil and soot. With this process, the speed of printing increased exponentially, which led to the widespread use of the printing press for the propagation of knowledge. By 1500, 20 million volumes were printed in Western Europe. It was a major turning point in human history. Number 3. Penicillin. The Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming accidentally made one of the greatest discoveries in history. He noticed a bacteria-filled petri dish in his lab. With its lid accidentally open, the sample was contaminated with mold. And wherever the mold was, the bacteria were dead. This antibiotic mold was fungus Penicillium. It was next purified and developed by the chemist to form the drug penicillin. Penicillin fights a huge number of bacterial infections in the human body without harming us. Although it may have been accidentally discovered, antibiotics were not widely used until World War II. Penicillin was mass-produced and advertised by 1944. Number 4. The compass. The ancient mariners would usually navigate with the help of stars, and some still do, but it would be difficult during daytime or when it was cloudy, even for the adventurers or travelers who would be lost due to no dependable navigation support. Somewhere between the 9th and 11th century, the Chinese invented the first compass. They were studying the lodestone, a naturally magnetized iron ore. The navigation now was eased, as the mariners, adventurers, and many other travelers could navigate safely and easily. The technology was soon passed on to Arabs and Europeans through nautical contact. Number 5. The internal combustion engine. The internal combustion engine is a very crucial invention. Although the steam engine was great too, we would constantly need someone shoveling coal to be up and running, which we all agree is tiresome. The IC engines, or the internal combustion engines, were considerably small, and more importantly, it did not need someone shoveling coal into it. An IC engine is a machine that basically converts chemical energy into mechanical energy. Inside this engine, the combustion of fuel releases a high-temperature gas, which expands to apply force on the piston, hence moving it to produce mechanical energy. Hence the name internal combustion engine. It was modernized for essential use somewhere around half of the 19th century. IC engine also led to various other important inventions to human life, like cars, aircraft, and other modern vehicles. Number 6. The telephone. When the use of the telephone expanded, many inventors filed lawsuits claiming for a patent on the electronic voice transmission device, of which Alexander Graham Bell was the first to be awarded a patent for the electronic telephone in 1876. He drew his inspirations from teaching the deaf and also his visits to his hearing-impaired mom. He had also named it as electrical speech machine. The invention soon took over the world and transformed business and communications around the globe. Today, we can't imagine our life without a smartphone, which is an evolution of this telephone. On the 2nd of August 1922, U.S. telephone services were stopped for a minute to honor him on his death. Number 7. Electricity. Benjamin Franklin, an American Renaissance man of the 18th century, is credited with a major understanding of electricity. However, many prodigious minds have contributed to it over thousands of years. Thales of Miletus conducted the earliest research into the phenomenon, putting it way back to ancient Greece. In today's world, we can't imagine a life without electricity, as literally almost half of the discoveries would be non-existent and we would be so much behind. Thanks to electricity, we can work in the dark, students can study in the dark, our houses light up until dark, the street lights, computers, mobile phones, current technology, almost everything uses and needs electricity. The list won't stop, but that's not our topic today. Number 8. The light bulb. Earlier, people would go to sleep as soon as the natural light was diminished, having nothing much to do, and would wait until the sun is back again. Productivity, travel, and many more things were limited. Although the use of fire as a light source was often used but not reliable. Soon, electricity came into play and the light bulb was invented. Thomas Edison is credited as the primary inventor of the light bulb, as he had created a complete functional lighting system that included a generator, wiring, and the bulb. The light bulb completely changed the way we see the world today. Number 9. Semiconductors. You were probably watching this on any Android smartphone or an iPhone or a computer probably. It would not have been possible if it weren't for semiconductors here. The TV you're watching, the washing machine you use for washing clothes, to laptops you work on, or the headphone you listen to music on, everything is possible and so compact because of the semiconductors. The major U.S. computing company home is called the Silicon Valley because of the maximum use of silicon semiconductors in many devices. John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley of Bell Labs in 1947 demonstrated the first device containing semiconductor materials. Number 10. The Internet. And finally, our most awaited name on the list, the Internet. Well, yeah, not surprised as much as you all knew about this one right from the beginning, I suppose. It clearly needs no introduction, but we are going to tell you something you probably did not know about the Internet, or maybe you know. Anyway, it won't hurt to listen to it once again for a few seconds now, would it? The person most often credited with the invention of the Internet is computer scientist Lawrence Roberts. In the 1960s, a team of computer scientists working in the U.S. Defense Department, ARPA, which stands for Advanced Research Projects Agency, built a communication network for the computers in the agency and called it ARPANET. Internet is the successor of ARPANET. Later in the 1990s, creation of a World Wide Web, or WWW, by England's Tim Berners-Lee is responsible for the modern-day Internet that is today. This completes today's list of 10 great inventions of all time. Don't agree with us? Or do you feel there are any other inventions that are greater than whatever mentioned here? Do let us know in the comments below. Do you have any mind-boggling questions that you would like answered? If yes, tell us in the comments section below and we will try to answer the most liked questions in our next videos. Or perhaps you've learned something new or interesting from this video. Then subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified on such awesome videos regularly.